comes coming at ya. So pick it up, yo, you better catch ya. The bad boys are back off the block. Tip for the top, we won't be stopped. We're knowing improved and got the grand groove. Pump it up, and raise the groove.
Right, this video is gonna be a review of WrestleMania 28. And as you people know, most of my videos are basically trolling people or talking about MMA. However, since fuck all is happening in the world of MMA at the moment, I thought I'd cover this event. And I gotta be honest with you, my expectations for this WrestleMania were pretty fucking low. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been watching wrestling for a good 10 years or so. But my friend, he called me up the other day and he said, Mike, why don't you come over to my house and we'll watch WrestleMania like the good old days. So I arrived at my friend's house promptly at about 9 o'clock with a big case of Red Bull and half an ounce of hashish, and I was ready. I was ready to watch WrestleMania. First fight of the night was actually for the heavyweight championship. Now, according to my sources, they did this last year. They opened up an event with their championship match. Now, I personally, I'm not a fan of this kind of structure for a pay-per-view. I prefer a pay-per-view to gradually build up to the titles, but what the fuck do I know? Anyway, we have the champion, Daniel Bryan, versus Sheamus. Now, the last time I saw a championship squash match was all the way back in 1996. And fucking Diesel, Diesel beat Bob Backlund in 8 seconds with a fucking jackknife for the heavyweight title. So anyway, the bell rings and Daniel Bryan is on the apron smooching with his floozy, and just as he turns around, he eats a big boot right to the mush and he gets pinned in 18 seconds. I don't know what to make of this match. I mean, they basically buried their champion, and for what? As far as I'm concerned, Daniel Bryan is a decent mid-carder. So I guess that's what the WWE thought as well. Next up, we had Randy Orton versus Kane, otherwise known as Fake Diesel or Isaac Yankem. Now, I've never been a fan of Kane. He's basically just stolen The Undertaker's gimmick and injected a shitload of steroids into it. Anyway, this fight was pretty solid. Nothing too memorable. Kane beats Randy Orton in about 10 minutes with a choke slam off the second rope. It was okay for what it was. Next up, we had the Intercontinental Championship match. This was Cody Rhodes versus The Big Show. Now this is, I would say this was kind of a squash match as well. It lasted all but 5 minutes and Cody Rhodes barely got any offense off on The Big Show. He was being ragdolled around the ring, and then he was finished off with a big ham hock to the face, and that was about it. It was fairly entertaining, but nothing to write home about. And then we had the Divas match. Now, I can't really tell you much about this match because as soon as they came into the ring, I went up to the lavatory and just did the biggest shit you can imagine. And I came back and it just finished. So, all's well that ends well. It was The Undertaker versus Triple H, Part 3. Now, I don't know much about the storyline leading into this fight, but The Undertaker came back and he revealed He had been completely scalped. He had a little mohawk. It was pretty fucking bizarre if you ask me. Anyway, Shawn Michaels was the special guest referee. Now, a couple of years back, The Undertaker ended Shawn Michaels' career in the WWE. And he was the special guest referee. So already, we know there's going to be some drama in this fight. And boy, there really was some drama. Even though it was a Hell in a Cell, the cell wasn't really used much at all. I think it was just an excuse for Triple H to beat Undertaker about 50 times with a steel chair, and that's exactly what he did. There were some pretty stiff shots. I mean, The Undertaker had bruises all up his shoulder. It looked pretty fucking legit for wrestling. I was pretty fucking impressed. Now, the fight itself had an abundant amount of false finishes. At one point, Shawn Michaels sweet-chinned The Undertaker. The Undertaker went flying around and then fell straight into a pedigree. The motherfucker kicked out. My heart was pounding. Anyway, yeah, the fight ends with The Undertaker tombstoning Triple H. And then The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, they helped Triple H out of the ring, and it was a beautiful thing. They embraced each other like proper warriors who'd been to hell and back. And this was without doubt the fight of the night. We had CM Punk versus Chris Jericho for the championship. Now, this had a pretty good storyline. Now, we all know CM Punk is straight-edged, which basically means he doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, and he doesn't do drugs. So, apparently, Chris Jericho found out that CM Punk's dad is a drunk and his sister is a drug addict. So, while this fight was going on, oh yeah, I need to mention one thing. There was a stipulation in this fight that if CM Punk got himself disqualified, he still lost the title. So Jericho was doing everything in his power to try and get CM Punk disqualified. He was taunting him, he was saying, how's your daddy? How's your sister? And at one point he said, your daddy is a drunk. Now correct me if I'm wrong. Whose daddy isn't a drunk? I know mine is. Every dad gets to a certain age and he becomes a hopeless drunk. So, this didn't really work on CM Punk. When he said, your sister is a drug addict, CM Punk got pretty irate, and he was hammer-fisting him, using elbows, and he almost got himself disqualified. So there was a lot of drama in this fight. And I would say it was probably the second best fight of the night. The last fight of the night, the main event, was The Rock versus John Cena. Now, they've been hyping up this fight for over a year. There's been a whole 12 months of build-up to this fight. It was pretty fucking awesome. The Rock cut some of the most sublime promos of his career on John Cena. Just take a look at it. Just go on YouTube and have a look at those promos. They're absolutely outstanding. Now, the fight itself was pretty much what I expected. Pretty solid, but a lot of it was storytelling. And that's pretty much what this whole WrestleMania was about. They went old school. There was no fucking high spots. There's no people doing suicide dives off a fucking ladder. There was no fucking table set on fire. Everything about this WrestleMania was all about the storytelling. They went back to their roots. And as a fact, I think this was probably the best WrestleMania since WrestleMania 19, because they concentrated mostly on the drama and not doing all these razzle-dazzle flashy fucking moves, which they look pretty cool, but you know, it just doesn't cut it anymore. Anyway, the fight itself, it was pretty solid. The Rock ended up beating John Cena with I think it was the third rock bottom or something. I thought John Cena was going to win. It didn't make any sense for a guy like The Rock, who had been away from wrestling for 7 years doing movies, to come in and beat the WWE's #1 babyface. Didn't make any sense. However, this was a damn good pay-per-view. I gave it about 8 out of 10. There was only one real stinky match, and that was the Divas match. But that's what we come to expect from the fucking Divas. So, this has been my WrestleMania review. I hope you fucking enjoyed it. And if you didn't, go fuck your mother.